Garden. The Nuggets open up this 4-game trip in the East. It's actually a 5-game road trip, but the Nuggets want to forget about where it started in Utah after the phenomenal victory over the Golden State Warriors and come from behind fashion Friday night. Nuggets left it all on the floor at McNichols Arena when they went up in Utah. Dan Issel said he felt it coming and losing by 30 to the Utah Jazz. But the Nuggets once again in striking distance to the 500 mark. A win puts them there tonight. They come in having won 7 and lost 8. And have a game here tonight against the Boston Celtics team that played last night in Orlando. Now the introductions to the lineups.
The other forward is from Georgetown, 6'7", number 34, Reggie Williams. The center is from Georgetown, 7'2", number 55, Dikembe Mutombo.
Thank you.
At guard from Louisiana State, 6'1", and number 3, Chris Jackson. And at the other guard from Stanford, 6'4", number 24, Todd Lichty. Trainer of the Nuggets is Jim Gillen, assistant coach Mike Evans, head coach Dan Issel. And now introducing the Boston Celtics. At forward from Wichita State, 6'7", number 31, Xavier McDaniel. The other forward is from North Carolina, 6'7", number 44, Rick Fox. The center is from Centenary, 7'1½", number 00, Robert Parrish. At guard from Jacksonville, 6'1", number 7, D. Brown. And at the other guard from Northeastern, 6'7", number 35, Reggie Lewis. Trainer of the Celtics is Ed Lacerte. Assistant coach Don Casey. Head coach Chris Ford.
Chris Ford and the Celtics arrived back to town about 2 a.m. in the morning after a brilliant victory over Orlando last night, 117 to 102. The Celtics feel it's their best game so far of the season. Walt, let's take a look at the keys of tonight's game, brought to you by your neighborhood Colorado Pontiac dealers.
Well, first of all, what Denver has to do is stop Boston's transition game. Boston's been very known for their fast break, getting a lot of easy baskets. Secondly, they got to play harder and they got to be physical, not only this game but the whole trip. And thirdly, they got to take care of the ball and minimize the turnovers,
which has been very difficult for the Nuggets so far this year. Their one and only trip into the Boston Garden. The Nuggets come in well rested. 3 days off coming into this game. As you take a look at the matchups, the Nuggets once again going with Ellis, Williams, Mutombo, Jackson, and Lichty. For the Celtics, D. Brown and Rick Fox, a couple of weeks ago, have been inserted in the starting lineup. Chris Ford wants the Celtics to get off to a quick start, push the ball early, and they have really infused this Celtics starting team with some energy. Well, we'll try it again to get this one going. Parrish wins it back to Rick Fox. Fox, the second-year man out of North Carolina. D. Brown now at the point guard spot, which actually is new to him. You take a look at his size, you know his speed, but in college he was a small forward. A rainbow by Robert Parrish, who bumped all night with Shaquille O'Neal last night. And the Nuggets looking to beat Parrish back, and they did it right there. On the money, Chris Jackson with a pass to Dikembe Mutombo. They're going to run Parrish, who played a tough 27 minutes last night. Reggie Lewis. He had his first 7 shots last night against Orlando, on way to a team-high 29 points. LaFonso Ellis bangs with Lewis, and the Nuggets really taking advantage here of some matchup problems. The Celtics really don't have a power forward outside of McHale, who comes off the bench. They have Xavier McDaniel and Rick Lewis in the lineup at the Rick Fox in the lineup at the same time. Neither really a power forward. McDaniel the outside, and it's taken down by Todd Lichty. Here the Nuggets getting it on the run very early. Chris Jackson into the hands of Reggie Williams. LaFonso Ellis backing in on McDaniel. Lichty, crowd calls a travel, but the referees do not. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Nuggets last year split the 2 games with the Celtics. Now the shot clock is down to 4. Ellis gazes there. Turn around. It's blocked by McDaniel. Fox takes it off into the hands of D. Brown. Brown goes on Jackson and is fouled by Ellis helping out. Alfonso Ellis, who is on the other end of the court under the basket, and quickly comes back to help his teammates, but for his help he gets the foul.
Well, the Nuggets were a little slow in the transition, and D. Brown, like I say, is going to use that quickness all night. Just makes a quick move, penetrates, and gets a foul.
D. Brown, explosive in his rookie season, one of the big surprises of the league when he was named to the all-rookie team, and of course many headlines when the 6'1" D. Brown won the slam dunk contest. And he looked like this guy was going to be some super player, but last year he had a knee injury, he had an illness, and suffered a sophomore slump. The block by McDaniel, he got a finger on that one, and here is Brown. Sometimes very chaotic tone he sets on the court. Fox inside, and the Celtics have taken an 8-4 lead. Rick Fox last year out of North Carolina, low first-round pick, found himself in the starting lineup opening night. The first Celtic rookie to start since Larry Bird entered the fray. He started the first 5 games, never started again. Swish. Chris Jackson, who has been held a total of 20 points in the last 2 games, and he nothing but net in his first shot.
Chris did a very good job of getting open. He moved without the ball and wasn't a stationary target.
Xavier McDaniel with the line drive bullet, and it's 10-6 in favor of the Celtics. Celtics come in with a record of 8-10. They were 2-8 in their first 10 games, and then with some changes have caught fire. And Jackson with a quick crossover, and he leaves Brown in the dust. And that's one of the matchups we were talking about, a very interesting one. The new look, Chris Jackson, going up against the lightning D. Brown. So it's foul number 1 on Brown.
That was a smart play by Chris, because the pick was on D. Brown's left, and he went left to Chris right, to Chris left. And so that was a good play by Chris.
Jackson blows by him again, and it's another foul. Number 2 on D. Brown. You know, the Celtics have not seen this Chris Jackson, and he right now has D. Brown on his heels.
Like I said, Chris just makes a very quick move, gets up in the air. He has good jumping ability, which enabled him to get that shot off because of his size.
The number 1 foul shooter in the league, Chris Jackson, now 43 of 45, 96%. He missed his second foul shot over the weekend in Utah. Chris has been having some problems with his shoulders, and there's another miss. He was shooting around before the game. He said he just woke up with some shoulder problems. Could affect his shooting, may have had an effect on that foul shot. Reggie Lewis off of Parrish and the foul. So Todd Lichty's assignment right now is the hot shooting Reggie Lewis, the leading scorer on the Boston Celtics. Foul number 1 on Lichty. 3 minutes into this ball game, and the Celtics lead it by 3. And now this is the go-to guy for the Boston Celtics, even with Larry Bird in and out of the lineup the last couple of seasons. Reggie Lewis has elevated himself to the go-to guy. 21 points per ball game. That's what he did last night in Orlando. He made his first 7 shots. He had 14 points in the first quarter. He had 27 of those points in the first 3 periods. Lichty fires. Got it. Todd Lichty from deep. And the Nuggets trail it by 3. 8.5 left in the first period. Xavier McDaniel, who came over from the Knicks, signing as a free agent. Parrish tries to muscle in, and he does. Robert Parrish says he always enjoys playing against younger opponents. But you know what? That's everybody. They're all younger than Robert Parrish. What did he mean by that? Last night it was Shaquille O'Neal. Now it's Dikembe Mutombo. Mutombo putting up big numbers against Parrish last year. He gets the double team. Now he slips it off. Jackson with 3 on the shot clock. Williams the force. And Parrish rips it down in his 17th season in the NBA. Rick Fox surrounded by Nuggets, but nobody goes up with him. And it's the biggest lead for the Celtics, 7. Lichty over Parrish. Swish.
That was a good shot by Todd. You know the big man is not going to come out and challenge that usually, and you got a wide open shot. You got to take that.
Fox wheels on Williams, and now it's Chris Jackson revving it up for the Nuggets. Give grabs to Lichty for the finger roll, and Todd Lichty is on a roll. He scored the last 3 buckets for Denver and gets them again within striking distance to the Celtics. 7:20 left in the first quarter. The Nuggets here in Boston tonight. On to Atlanta on Friday, Charlotte Saturday, New York Monday. Xavier McDaniel using the elbows, and he gets his position. So the Nuggets not making many stops. They've given up 18 points in 5 minutes. On the other end of the court, Denver with 13. Boston has hit 7 of their 9 attempts. Nuggets have hit 6 of 9. There's a push by Robert Parrish. Parrish gets number 1. The Chief keeps rolling along at the tender age of 39. And still doesn't even look close to the end of his career. Timeout in Boston.
It's only natural that children look to their parents for answers. So to help you explain why some things that may be fine for adults aren't right for children, Anheuser-Busch offers Family Talk. Free advice from professionals to use with your kids while they're still learning to be grown up. And their favorite teacher is you. Let's stop underage drinking before it starts.
An act of God is a hard act to follow. We know. We do it every day. But right now, it's harder than ever because our disaster relief fund is gone. Our ability to help is threatened. Support the Red Cross. Call 1-800-842-2200. We can't do it without you.
Along the way on this trip Saturday night, the Denver Nuggets and Dikembe Mutombo going up against Larry Johnson, who won the Rookie of the Year award last year. Johnson and Mutombo, good friends from last season. You remember this, Walter Davis?
Yeah, that was a
demolition derby. And you know, Dikembe Mutombo remembers that. He'll face Larry Johnson Saturday. Broadcast on Channel 2 starting at 6 p.m. Also, Dikembe goes up against his former Georgetown teammate, Mr. Mourning, and the Charlotte Hornets. LaFonso Ellis, and he draws the foul, and it's foul number 1 on Xavier McDaniel. Walt, you said before the game, the important thing in that first quarter for the Nuggets, especially starting this road trip in a legendary arena like the Boston Garden, the young team, the thing early is to stay close.
Yes, they need to stay close. They don't want to get these fans involved and loud and screaming. It makes the players play a little higher level. So they got to stay close, and hopefully the fatigue factor will come in hard in the fourth quarter.
Blistering shooting off the start. And LaFonso Ellis will have another foul shot. He's been averaging 20 points and 10 rebounds a game over the course of the last 3. He has become the steadiest of all Nuggets, the rookie out of Notre Dame. And he pulls the Nuggets now to within 3. D. Brown. You see Jackson bracing. A little Russian roulette between those two. Who will get the first one in foul trouble? Lewis over Lichty. And Reggie Lewis with the lethal pull-up jumper. And he has a quick 6 here in this first quarter. Travel against Reggie Williams. Those two teams for Dunbar High in Baltimore. Reggie Williams was the leading scorer, and Reggie Lewis was the dynamite man off the bench. That was the first turnover for the Nuggets. As a matter of fact, the first turnover in the game. Wheeling and dealing, Xavier McDaniel. And he's off to a quick start. 6 points for McDaniel. And again, the Celtics by 7. 6 minutes gone, 6 to go in the first quarter at the Garden. Reggie Williams wide open. Got it. Williams.
That was a great pass by Todd Lichty. He had an open shot, but he saw Reggie Williams have a better shot. A very unselfish play.
22-17 in favor of the Celts, with a modest 5-3 record on their home floor. McDaniel has the hot hand, goes to work on Ellis, the double team, and Brown is open. The Celtics of late have really been able to spread the floor. They're finding the open man, getting a little more balance in their scoring. Jackson, Ellis calling for it, back to Jackson on the line, swish. A two-pointer for Chris Jackson, and Jackson getting off to a nice start after he has been held to just 12 points against Utah and 8 points against Golden State. His 5 here in this first period. Off the mark, rare miss by the Celtics. Mutombo picks it up, almost throws it away. In the crowd, Lichty. Williams makes the fake, stops, turns, got it. Reggie Williams, and now the Nuggets again move to within 3. Denver continues their hot shooting. Just under 5 minutes left in the first quarter. McDaniel looked like he walked, but he gets the basket. Xavier McDaniel now 4 of 5 from the field. 26-21, Celtics by 5. A very slick moving game. Lichty isolated on Rick Fox, a good defender. Jackson coming around. Forced pass by Williams. He gets it back. 5 on the shot clock. You just knew the Nuggets weren't getting the shot off on that sequence. Brown dishes to McDaniel. And Dennis wants a timeout. Double figures for McDaniel in the first 8 minutes of the ball game. And the Boston Celtics take a 28-21 lead over the Denver Nuggets.
A noble warrior advised, the art of protection springs from within. One must stay vigilant against one's unfragrant perspiration, lest one provoke a hostile response. Thus, a Norse ritual is Right Guard Sports Stick. An aromatic array of the freshest scents and maximum protection against disarming wetness. Confirming the wisdom, the best defense is not to offend. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Ho, ho, ho! This is Santa Claus here. What's on PSN in December to bring us great cheer? If the NBA is for you, my gray-bearded fan, watch the Nuggets, the T-Wolves, the Pacers, and the Mailman. Catch CSU hoops and a DU hat trick. It's fast-breaking action for you, Old St. Nick. Baseball swings with the Japan Tour. Check your local listings if you want to know more. Onward, my little reindeer. We cannot delay. We'll turn on PSN this December and enjoy a wonderful holiday.
What you've been missing in college sports action. The University of Denver's winter season featuring gymnastics and basketball is in full swing. The women's Division I gymnastics team continues to build momentum. Come see what's in store for them in '93. This year also promises exciting men's and women's basketball from the Colorado Athletic Conference. The Denver Pioneers are coming on strong. Don't miss this year's nonstop action. For ticket information, call 871-2336.
Next Nugget telecast here on the Prime Sports Network. Nuggets wrapping up this 4-game Eastern swing at Madison Square Garden against the New York Knicks right here on PSN, 6:30 Central Time, 5:30 Mountain Time. And it's the duel between the two Hoya Destroyers, Dikembe Mutombo and Patrick Ewing. You'll see it right here on Prime Sports Network. Nuggets trailing by 7. 4 minutes on the nose left in the first quarter in Boston. And the Celtics hammering away inside. Rick Fox saves, but Chris Jackson is there. He now has to hustle it. 8 on the shot clock. Mutombo flying past Robert Parrish. Mutombo with 2 field goals, both stuffs. And it's a 5-point Boston lead. The Nuggets have now made their last 5 shots. Sherman Douglas has reported in for D. Brown, who goes to the bench with the 2 personal fouls. Lewis, forget it. Reggie Lewis.
Well, Todd's going to have some help with Reggie Lewis. He's getting a lot of picks, and plus he's already a great player, so he's got to get some help from his teammates.
Nuggets have to remember Lewis last year here at the Garden. He took 19 shots. He made 15 of them. 31 points to burn the Nuggets as Boston won that game by 38. Williams on the drive over McDaniel. Aggressive offensive rebound by Ellis. Lichty turns, and it's blocked by Lewis. Sherman Douglas. Long pass for Parrish, who beats Mutombo back. And that was Reggie Williams scooping it off the floor. Jackson floats it to Lichty. Ellis wants to go against McDaniel. Ripped down by Robert Parrish, who in his career has over 12,000 rebounds. 2.5 left in the first. Shot clock is 7. The steal by Williams, and he's fouled in the backcourt by Rick Fox trying to get it back. Fox gets his first personal foul, scrapping for the ball. Looks like he's playing in Denver, breathing hard. Mark Macon becomes the Nuggets' first substitute in the game, replacing Todd Lichty. Lichty with 6. And Joe Klein, who is finding some value, more value off the bench this year, really providing the Boston Celtics with some size and muscle inside and providing them with some good defense.
Well, Mark Macon has a tough job now because Reggie Lewis, I think he feels it. His teammates are looking for him, and he's got a hot hand. But Mark Macon's a tough defensive player, and he's going to give his all.
That's the assignment. Dennis will puts Macon in to try to put the stopper to Reggie Lewis. 30-24 Celtics, and it goes to Lewis right away. Again, the Celtics spread the court. This was what happened to Orlando last night. The bump, Mutombo gets away with it. Reggie Williams claims he had all ball, but the referee, Mike Constable, does not agree. And it's a foul on Reggie Williams. We'll get another chance to check it out. Mutombo with the bump, and Williams all ball, but he comes down on his arm. So it'll send Rick Fox to the foul line. Last night, Walter, against Orlando, Boston Celtics with a 17-2 run in the fourth quarter. And with Reggie Lewis, the hot man, then all of a sudden, coming off the bench was Kevin Gamble. And with the focus on Reggie Lewis, the Celtics able to swing it to Gamble, who then was on fire and hit 7 in a row, 10 of 12, most of the damage in the fourth quarter.
Well, he's right up there in the field goal leaders, and that's pretty abnormal for an outside shooter to be shooting almost 60% from the floor.
Traveling violation. So the ball goes back, and here is Kevin Gamble on cue. He comes in. He had 22 last night. Robert Pack now checking Sherman Douglas. Pack replaces Chris Jackson, and leaves with 5. That goes out of bounds off of the Nuggets. 1:49 left in the first quarter. Celtics by 8. Macon keeping an eye on Lewis. 10 on the shot clock. Sherman Douglas, he wheels inside. Not much of a threat with the shot this guy is. But so far, it's a cold start, and McDaniel. So the Celtics at the right place at the right time. And it's a dozen now for Xavier McDaniel. He averages 14 a game. Nearly has it here in the first quarter. Williams on the run. Mutombo goes up. He can't get it. Now it's the Celtics. 4-on-2. Douglas. Gift wraps to Lewis. Wondering here when the Celtics will deal Sherman Douglas and make room for John Bagley. Hammered inside was Reggie Williams. They call the foul on Joe Klein, who knows how to give a foul. This is a perfect break set up by Sherman Douglas, who had 11 assists last night, and there's his first this evening.
Well, he fooled Mark Macon on that pass. Thought he was going to pass it to the left and came back with Reggie Lewis.
Nuggets have gone cold. They've missed their last 6 shots. Now trying to get some points from the foul line. 7 now for Reggie Williams, and it's a 10-point Celtic lead. 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Sherman Douglas all the way and finds a cutting Joe Klein. And as you see, and I'm sure you can confirm it, Walt. Very friendly rims here at the Boston Garden.
Well, these are some of the best rims in the league. They're loose, and you will get the good bounce on it.
A pure shooter would call these the best rims in the league.
Oh, yes.
Not to Mark Macon. So you got to get it over the rim for it to help you out. LaFonso Ellis.
He got that one over the rim.
Last shot for the Celtics, and they'll hold. Sherman Douglas, who signed as a free agent with the Lakers. That contract was matched by Miami. Then they traded him to Boston for Brian Shaw, but it was a high price tag. He has 5 years left at $16 million. Celtics said to be shopping him all summer. And do we give an assist to Reggie Lewis on that one? Sets up McDaniel. So McDaniel ties his season average in the first quarter. 14 points for McDaniels, 40 points for the Celtics, who lead the Nuggets by a dozen after the first 12 minutes.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
No one has money to burn, especially not today.
Right after it was a year, the defroster thing went on it.
The car was very good for the first 40 or 50,000 miles, and since then I've really had a lot of trouble.
That's where Consumer Reports comes in. It can save you hundreds or thousands of dollars on stereo systems, microwave ovens, or minivans. Hi, I'm Bob Knoll, head of auto testing for Consumer Reports, the magazine that works for you. We can show you how you could save $2,000 or more on car insurance, how you could save $3,000 next time you buy a new car.
It's one of the very few objective sources of information you can get.
Everybody needs an edge. Call now for your trial issue of Consumer Reports. If you like it, you'll get 12 more issues, including the 1993 buying guide, all for just $22. Or write cancel on the bill, return it, and owe nothing. You'll also get the 1992 buying guide free with your paid subscription.
So call for your trial issue now.
Call 1-800-253-8665.
Want to Jam City, and I'm the mayor.
Yo, fellas, how about a game of hoops? Hey, what? With you? No, with your mama.
Mom? This guy was good, but he was all dribble.
Say what? Come on, man.
Man, he deserved one of these.
Franchise, wanna call Bud? Solid.
This portion of Denver Nuggets basketball is brought to you in part by Budweiser. With that fresh, pure, natural taste, nothing beats a Bud. And by your neighborhood Colorado Pontiac dealers.
Drew Goodman, ladies and gentlemen. Walt, I don't know if you're aware of this, but this copyright program is presented by the authority of the NBA, and the Denver Nuggets is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, publication, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written permission of the Nuggets, the NBA, Prime Sports Network is prohibited. Celtics pour in 40 points in the first quarter. The Nuggets trying to win here for the first time since '89. Those were the starting fives when the Nuggets won in the closing seconds in one of the thrillers in franchise history. The Nuggets now have a lineup of Pack and Macon, and look at the shooting for the Celtics. Macon from outside, that's not going to help you get back in, but the Celtics are getting to their spots, scoring the baskets. Nuggets on the defensive end doing very little boxing out. A lot of the scores for the Celtics coming inside.
Well, Boston, traditionally, other than having been a good fast-breaking team, they execute very well. Where at the beginning of the game, if there's a close game, they always depend on their execution.
Nuggets look like a very young team out here being dissected by the Celtics. And Sherman Douglas goes in, and Robert Pack has his quick second personal foul. And a possible three-point play for Sherman Douglas.
Well, this is the same play. Robert's got to force the guy over the pick, and a lot of times NBA players use that quickness and sets the defensive man up, and that's the case that time.
everything going well for the Celtics tonight. Sherman Douglas, a 44% foul shooter, sinks it, and the lead now grows to 15. And the Nuggets, I'm sure that has Dan Issel going wild, because you start taking shots like that, and all of a sudden that 15-point lead becomes 30. 1 minute in the second quarter. McDaniel walks away. Xavier McDaniel, 7 of 8 from the foul, from the field. Robert Pack in and out of trouble. Marcus Liberty. Now each Nugget wall looking to take it upon themselves to do it all. Look at this. Liberty, but in his defense, just a few seconds left on the shot clock. Dan Issel rushing Dikembe Mutombo into the lineup. Robert Pack plays himself out in a matter of minutes. Minute and a half into the second quarter, and Pack gets 3 quick personal fouls. So Chris Jackson is in. 3 fouls in 1 minute and 24 seconds for Robert Pack. Now Kevin Brooks is in the lineup for the Nuggets. They have Mutombo, Plummer, and Brooks up front with Liberty and Jackson. An unusual look for the Denver Nuggets. The only real guard on the floor is Chris Jackson. Kevin McHale in the lineup for the Celtics. And that is Kevin Gamble from outside. The lead now grows to 19.
That was a great play. A lot of teams use that. They have a good post-up player in Kevin McHale, and then they have a great outside shooter in Kevin Gamble. And you put those two on the same side, and usually something good's going to happen.
Douglas travels, no call made. Here is McHale. Celtics are on a 17-4 run. Nuggets now having severe difficulties in putting the ball in the hoop from anywhere on the floor. 2 minutes in to this second quarter. 10 seconds on the shot clock. McHale, who says he's feeling pretty much pain-free for the first time in a while. It's almost good night. Joe Klein's hitting 20-footers. But it just shows how the Celtics feel right now. Joe Klein takes a shot that nature, and now turnover. Nuggets are completely shaken at this time, and Dan Issel knows it. He calls a timeout. 9:23 still remaining in the second quarter. Dan Issel trying to get them together.
With each new day, you find a way to be your best.
Gillette Sensor for the closest, safest shave ever.
You know you gotta be a little better than the rest.
Only Gillette Sensor has spring-mounted twin blades that sense and adjust to every detail of every face. Gillette Sensor, when you're the best, there's no feeling like it.
Gillette, the best of men.
No question, you have better things to do with your time than waste it. So at the Colorado National Banks, if we take up too much of it, we'll make it up to you. If we goof up, we'll make good. And if we don't treat you right, we'll make sure you know we know. Because at Colorado National, giving great service isn't a fluke or a limited time offer. It's a 130-year tradition you can count on.
Yes, you can.
Cecil Fielder, Roger Clemens, Ozzie Smith, and Ken Griffey Jr. lead an all-star team to the Far East as Major League Baseball's finest battle the best from Japan. A once-in-a-lifetime team that features National and American League superstars and future Hall of Famers. Plus, the game's hottest names like Sierra, Biggio, Graves, and Can. Don't miss a strikeout or homer. The Major League Baseball Japan Tour. Watch for it. Sundays this month on PSN.
Denver Nuggets basketball is brought to you in part by Lawrence Covell, one of Denver's finest clothing stores, located in Cherry Creek North at the Tabor Center downtown. The Nuggets got to stop it right here. They have fallen down by 19 points, 9 unanswered points by the Boston Celtics. Dan Issel may have expected it in Utah, but not here. His club is well rested to start this road trip. but have dug themselves a deep hole in the first half. Kevin McHale bumping with Mutombo, really giving him the shoulder and scoring. McHale in his 13th season says he's ready to get some playing time. His ankles feel much better. 11 straight points now for the Celtics. Nuggets working it inside to Mutombo. The turn on to Klein. What do you think Dan Issel told his Nuggets during that timeout, Walt?
Well, I think he expressed to the guys that, you know, we got ourselves in the hole, and this is how we're going to get ourselves out of it. We got to start stopping these guys, make them take some outside shots, and we got to score on the other end. We got to start executing and do the things that have made us win these games previously.
And I'm sure Dan also told them you're not going to get the 19-21 points with one shot. We got a long time to go. One advantage of being down by 21 in the game is if you're down by 21 in the first half.
Yes, because lots of times you can come back because the team that's got the lead, they were relaxed at halftime, may not concentrate as much as they would.
But the Celtics continue their incredible shooting. 21, make it 22 of 30 from the field, 73%. Last night they shot 57% on the road. But it's Chris Jackson now picking up the pace for the Nuggets. He's hit the last two from the outside. 4 minutes into the second quarter, and the Celtics lead it by 19. Matter of fact, it was a cold shooting fourth quarter. The Celtics hit only 12 of 24 in the fourth quarter against Orlando to bring them under 60%. Near break for the Nuggets, get the turnover, and now they bust out with Gary Plummer leading the way. Crowd wanted to travel. Marcus Liberty, no. Kevin Brooks, yes. So the Nuggets showing a little life here, enough to make Chris Ford call a timeout. Chris Jackson hitting a couple. Kevin Brooks putting in one. Dan Issel applauds his young team. He knows there's enough time to certainly get back in this one.
Jim, give me a Bud Light.
We're all out.
When it comes to clean, fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, Bud Light delivers.
The World Superbike Series. From around the globe, the race is on. More power, more turns, more speed, more motorcycles. More of road racing's most radical moves. No matter where they're racing, we've got every angle covered. The World Superbike Series. Every Saturday in December on PSN.
Last year, thousands of children were victims of violent crime. Learn how to protect your children and your neighborhood. Call now. Together, we will take a bite out of crime.
Skiers, tune in to Ski Colorado right here on Prime Sports Network, where you can explore the best ski resorts in Colorado. This month, you'll visit beautiful Keystone. So watch Ski Colorado. That follows the Nuggets Knick game coming up on December 14th, which coincidentally is Monday. And you'll see it right here on PSN. In attendance, Larry Bird, along with the president of the Celtics, Dave Gavitt. Larry Bird has been spending a lot of time in Indiana, sitting home, watching the satellite dish. Actually, he's become a great resource to Dave Gavitt. Another set of eyes and ears observing the NBA. He says he's looking at more NBA games on TV than he ever would. But he says his back still hurts. He's put on 15 pounds, and if he tried to play, would have lasted 3 days. Very happy to be retired.
I know how he feels.
Your back's back. You haven't gained 15 pounds.
No.
Kevin Brooks makes the move on Reggie Lewis. The Nuggets trying to put something together here. They've gotten their shot back. Plummer, long shot, swish. So the Denver Nuggets now not turning around and falling at the hands of the Boston Celtics after trailing by as many as 21. Still a mountain to climb, though. 15 back, but still Denver now coming back, showing some composure on offense. 6:39 left in the first half. McHale banging with Plummer. There's the fadeaway, got it going tonight.
What makes Kevin McHale so tough, he's got the ball very deep in there, but he can go either way for the young players, so the defensive guy can't get a set on you. He can go to his left or to his right.
Gary Plummer taking it right back to Kevin McHale. Lewis with Marcus Liberty right on him. Reggie Lewis with 12 points. And that goes back the other way. Was he forced out by Reggie Lewis or just stepping on the sideline? Marcus Liberty says he was forced out. Steve Jaffe says no. Wide open. 8 points for Kevin McHale, who's now averaging 13 points per ball game. Fitting into his role, coming off the bench for the Boston Celtics. They've taken 31 shots. They've missed 6. Celtics again on the run. They haven't missed a D. Brown. Here is Gamble for 3. Kevin Gamble, that's the 10th three-pointer he's hit this season in only 17 attempts. And the lead now grows to 22. The Denver Nuggets, who have shown that they can win on their home floor. They have won 6 of their 8 games, among the best records at home in the league. But on the road, still having great difficulty. They have won 1 of 7 games, and that one on Chris Jackson's miracle shot in Los Angeles. Crowd wants Gamble to go for 3. This time he takes it inside, and he is tied up. Jump ball. And it will be a jump ball. 4:53 left in the first half. Reggie Williams comes in for Marcus Liberty. The hand, though, is for Joe Klein, who leaves. The blue-collar backup center, and Robert Parrish returns in. Plummer tips, and there's Parrish beating Williams off the fingertips of Reggie Williams. Celtics here in this first half, everything going right, getting to the loose balls, until Robert Parrish took that shot. 4.5 on the clock. The Celtics have 26 hoops, 13 have come inside, and Brooks bombs long distance. Kevin Brooks' second field goal, and it's 60-40. Nuggets have 40 points. This is what the Celtics had after the first quarter. Play is stopped inside. It is on Mutombo, and that is the first personal foul on Dikembe. LaFonso Ellis reports back in for the Nuggets, and now he is assigned Kevin McHale. Isolating Lewis for that turnaround over Williams. And Reggie Williams was talking about his former high school teammate Reggie Lewis. He said that's a shot that he had back in college. That little turnaround, and he is deadly. Mutombo makes the move. McHale helps out Parrish, but Parrish gets his second foul. So the foul is on number 0, Robert Parrish. His second personal foul. First team foul.
Reggie's just waiting for Mutombo to get his feet set, to get his position. And then I like this move because he went fast. He didn't give him time to double team it or try to look for an open man.
Chris Ford could be up by 50 and still have that look on his face.
Oh, yes.
Chris Ford in his 3rd season. Dan Issel could look across at Chris Ford with some envy. 2 years, 2 division titles for Ford. Doing a nice job with Larry Bird in and out of the lineup. And you know, even with the talent Bird, how destructive that could be for an entire ball club. Star player in and out, never know if he's going to be there or not. Gamble, and he flips it off, but takes it back. Kevin Gamble was 7 all here in the second quarter. And the Celtics are now 28 of 38.
Well, all those guys, all the Celtics are playing with so much confidence now. They've got a big lead, and they're going to play the passing lanes, and they're just going to keep it simple and play unselfish the whole time.
Ellis over McHale. And a late whistle, and it leaves Kevin McHale scratching his head. McHale has foul number 1, the 13-year veteran out of Minnesota. Ellis may find out that how big McHale is. He knew where he was in the lane. Then McHale with the outstretched hands. And that ball had to travel a little further than Alfonso thought.
Well, because of age, Kevin McHale is not jumping as high, but he still has those long arms. And he was always up there in block shots and making guys change their shots.
Flat off the back of the iron. 7 points for LaFonso Ellis. Chris Jackson is high for the Nuggets with 9. Coming down to 3 minutes left in the first half. Lewis and the foul. Reggie Williams has his second personal foul. Muggsy Bogues, David Wingate, also high school teammates of Reggie Williams and Lewis on that Dunbar High team that was #1 in the nation. They played 50 games that season. They won 50 games.
Well, I think Coach Esso didn't want to put Reggie Williams on Reggie Lewis, even though they're both about the same height. But early in the game, Reggie Lewis used his height advantage against Todd Lichter and Mark Macon. And I think Dan was a little afraid of that because Reggie could pick up some fouls. So they're going to go look to this guy pretty much every play down the court.
Reggie Lewis swishing it in. He is 4 for 4 from the foul line tonight. He has now made 34 straight foul shots. Inside 3 minutes to go. It's McHale watching Jackson. Jackson with some room. Brooks pulls the trigger. Swish. Kevin Brooks getting an opportunity. He has been lost on the bench for a while after he got those 2 starts, and he's trying to take advantage of it, find some more playing time, and he certainly has. He's getting his shots, and he's hitting them. 3 shots, 3 bullseyes.
Well, I like what the Nuggets did that last time down. They stayed aggressive against that little trap, and I think Boston's trap is not really designed to steal the ball, just to make you take some time off the clock and get you out of your replay and your continuity.
The foul's on Ellis. What do you have to look for if you're guarding McHale? I know you never have, but
help. Lots of help.
Robert Parrish right there just saying, saw his face, don't mess with my buddy Kevin McHale. They continue to hang on. Myron Parrish now coming out, and right now it's a different look for the Celtics. It used to be the 3-man team of Bird, Parrish, and McHale, and now these two have different roles around some of the younger players. 10 points for McHale, all in the second quarter. 2.5 to go in the first half. Sherman Douglas leaning on Jackson, who proceeds anyway. Gamble reaches up, and the Celtics come out. Ed Pinckney, who was the starting power forward for the Celts, but underwent surgery on his left knee. He may be out the entire season. Spreading the court and getting the open 3. Kevin Gamble, second time he goes downtown. He has hit 8 of his last 10 3-pointers and slicing in. Reggie Williams, he's in double figures with 11. 71 points already for the Celtics. We still have 140 left in the second quarter. Start all over, says Sherman Douglas. And the crowd applauds the composure. A rare miss for Kevin McHale. Only his second miss tonight. 6 shots. Brooks for 3. Sets up Ellis. He draws the crowd and loses, and then Brooks fouls as Sherman Douglas tries to bust out on a fast break. Sellout crowd here in Boston. But I think several may be vacating this one very early. And Dan Issel sitting through the blowout in Utah on Saturday, and now seeing this unfold. I think they're generally, these people are hitting the concession stands. I don't think they're going to bail out this quickly. And if they hit the concession stands here in Boston, they better have their thick wallets with them.
Definitely.
Sherman Douglas will have one more. And he clanks 2 of them off the unfriendly rim. Again, the rim here is unfriendly if you hit the front of it, as most are. But if you get it up over the rim, chances are you got it. 8 on the shot clock. Ellis, he had Williams inside. 2 seconds to shoot, but it goes off the Nuggets and out of bounds. Nuggets getting hung up in the air. Nuggets unable to get the fast break going because Boston's making just about every shot. And Denver right now really being stymied in their half-court offense.
Well, that was unfortunate because Reggie Williams was wide open underneath the basket. And Alfonso Ellis just got hung up, and Kevin Gamble got a hand on the ball.
They'll give Sherman Douglas the outside shot, but he gets into the flow of the Boston Celtics. Here's the time remaining in the first half. Nuggets shooting has really slipped. They got off to the quick start, but they are now shooting just around the 40% mark, while the Celtics are shooting 73% in the first half. Any consolation? Nuggets have the last shot of the first half. Chris Jackson ready to go. Chris initially wanted, I think, to take the 3. Meanwhile, he'll be sent to the foul line. And what happens there, the way things are happening for the Celtics tonight, oh, it's not a shooting foul. All right, so the Nuggets have it with 4 seconds. Looking for Chris Jackson and Mutombo inside. There's Chris. It's for 2. Swish. Chris Jackson didn't have the time to step back, but nothing but net, and Chris Jackson has 11 at halftime. Chris Jackson is asking for the 3, but as we all saw, he was on the line. Mutombo making the right decision. Sherman Douglas trying to cover the open man, Kevin Brooks, and then Jackson wide open, and nothing but net. So the half at least ends on a high note for the Denver Nuggets. There's the halftime score here at Boston. The Celtics 73, Nuggets 49.
A noble warrior advised, the art of protection springs from within. One must stay vigilant against one's unfragrant perspiration, lest one provoke a hostile response. Thus, the Norse ritual is Right Guard Sports Stick. An aromatic array of the freshest scents and maximum protection against disarming wetness. Confirming the wisdom, the best defense is not to offend. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die.
The accused are charged with murder.
It was what they were ordered to do.
They tortured and tormented a weaker kid.
We're going to court.
No, you're not.
Why not?
Because you'll lose.
Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore in a Rob Reiner film.
Let's put Jessup on the stand and end this thing.
You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
A Few Good Men, rated R, at theaters Friday.
David Robinson and Casio. Clear a path.
Clear a path.
Lead the way. For tough workouts. Very tough. For high-tech intelligence. Smart move. Casio. Risk technology for your life.
Hey, I thought you were a Honda for life guy, huh? What happened?
Well, this happened.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I love the way it drives. Handling, the control, it just feels really connected to the road. Even has anti-lock brakes standard.
Oh, come on, what? You can't get ABS in the Accord, huh?
Oh, yeah, for about 4,000 more.
So what is this?
The new Grand Am. It's a Pontiac.
See your neighborhood Colorado Pontiac dealer today.
I'd love to drive it.
I'll bet.
Run hitting is wrong. You're bigger, you're stronger, you take time out, and you don't hit. Do you understand?
Take time out. Don't take it out on your child.
Welcome back to the Boston Garden, and it is all the Boston Celtics. It looks like the legendary Boston Celtics here at halftime, leading the Nuggets by the score of 73-49. Start of this ball game, both teams were shooting very well. The Nuggets moving the ball. They got Mutombo running in the first sequence, trying to get Robert Parrish tired very early. What got the Celtics on their roll?
Well, I think Xavier McDaniel had an excellent first quarter, scored a lot of points. I think the turnovers started getting to the Nuggets, and then the Celtics got a lot of easy baskets, and the Nuggets kept turning the ball over, taking bad shots, not hitting the shots, and it just dug themselves a big hole.
Let's take a look at the play of the first half, which is brought to you by Old Spice. Cool, crisp, clean. It puts the wind in your sails. And this is certainly a sampling of what happened. The Nuggets struggling on the offensive end in a half-court offense. And D. Brown pushing the ball at Chris Jackson and setting up Xavier McDaniel. 14 points for McDaniel. And he scored them all in I believe all of them in the first quarter. That's the Old Spice play of the game, and has been all Boston Celtics in the first 24 minutes of play.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
Jack, you look great. New clubs, new shoes, new ball.
Well, it's the new me, Bill.
New golf game, too?
We'll see.
It's showtime.
Showtime.
Hey! Whoa!
Maybe a 2-iron, Bill?
Yeah, a 2-iron. I just don't get it.
Well, it's showtime, Bill. And it's not the shoes, it's not the clubs, it's not the ball. It's this latest video from Golf Digest. How to get distance and accuracy.
A video?
Yeah, anyone can get it. And it's free when you subscribe to Golf Digest.
Huh.
Outdrive your partner with this half-hour instructional video. Free with a 1-year subscription to Golf Digest, just $19.77. Call 800-253-8665. Imagine this video and Golf Digest. Call 800-253-8665.
They are our national treasures, timeless, priceless, riches that belong to us all. But we have another national treasure that we must not forget. It is our water, the lifeblood of our nation. It is the water we drink, the water for our farms and ranches, the water for our industries, now and for the future. Find out what you can do about conserving our water and improving its quality. We owe it to our children. Call 1-800-THE-SOIL.
Sellout crowd at the Boston Garden, and the Celtic crowd is very happy. The Celtics are coming off their best game of the year. They went down to Orlando and defeated Shaquille O'Neal and the Magic 117-102 is their best offensive showing. And right now the Celtics, you would never know this is a team without Larry Bird and struggling. They lost 8 of their first 10 games, but now they're looking for their 7th win in their last 9, and right now they've got it all clicking.
Well, I see a lot of the characteristics that Larry Bird brought to this team, hitting the open man. He has an open shot, but someone else has a better shot. And that's the type of basketball you love to play with, someone that's very unselfish, and you move more without the ball, and it's tough for the defense to guard you then.
Nuggets have a very young team, and they knew there would be days like this, but this could be back-to-back after losing by 30 in Utah. What can the young Nuggets be learning in this experience?
Well, I think they've got to think about the game, each game that they play, and how can I get better? How can I make my teammates better? And you really got to focus on that and think about that, and then carry it over to the next game by executing and practicing it.
All right, Walt, it's time for a little trivia, a little basketball trivia, and it is brought to you by the Discovery card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back. Tonight's question, here we are in Boston. What former Boston Celtics star actually refused to be inducted in the Basketball Hall of Fame? you think about that, then we'll be back with the answer in just a moment.
When you receive your pre-approved Discover Card application, sign it.
Oh,
because you can't earn cash back until you get it back.
Oh.
It pays to Discover. Do your holiday shopping with the Discover Card, and you'll not only give, you'll receive a cashback bonus for every charge. It pays to Discover.
DU, handing out hockey's hardest hits and hammering all opponents in the WCHA. Denver University, there's no escaping Pioneer power. It's dominating defense and a pressure-packed offensive attack. Mile High Hockey is a hit, and the University of Denver Pioneers are pushing the puck to the limit.
Wisconsin at Denver, live December 11th on PSN.
You can go all out. You don't have to smell like it. If you used an Old Spice. And that's not some promise, because you got proof.
Ice him.
The Old Spice fights wetness, kills bacteria, so it works. Man, does it work. The proof? She's all the proof I need.
Old Spice Antiperspirant for great odor protection. Demand proof, not promises.
Millions worldwide depend on Medical Alert to provide life-saving information in an emergency. To learn more, call 1-800-ID-ALERT. That's 1-800-ID-ALERT.
The Discover trivia question once again. What former Boston Celtics star refused to be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame? And the answer is Bill Russell. Also didn't want his number retired here at the Boston Garden. Bill he says, hey, I'm leaving the sport. That's it. No stargazing. Well, the trivia question has been brought to you by the Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. Boston Celtics with the big lead. Bill did not want his number retired, but it was retired anyway. 15 players' numbers retired here at the Boston Garden. Halftime stats and numbers brought to you by your neighborhood Colorado Pontiac dealers. Look at the Celtics, 73%. The worst shooting touch in the first half by a Celtic is Joe Klein, who has made 1 of 2, and he's 50%. He's brought that average way down. 73% hot shooting for the Celtics, and that tells you a lot about what's happening on the floor here tonight. The 2 3-pointers by Boston made by Kevin Gamble, who's now made 8 of his last 10 over the course of several games. Celtics leading the boards. Nuggets, actually, there's one of the better Nugget games as far as turnovers are concerned, with just 7, but the Celtics really taking care of the basketball, and they've turned the 7 Nugget turnovers into 12 points. Nuggets with 14 assists. That's pretty high for the amount of field goals they had, and the Celtics only 15 assists for the amount of field goals they have. You figure a lot on the transition game, you pick up a lot of assists. Sure. Yeah, and the Celtics just moving it around. It doesn't matter who's on the floor, the starters or the bench. Chris Jackson is the high man for the Denver Nuggets. He has the hot hand, 5 of 7. The only man in double figures, followed by Reggie Williams and LaFonso Ellis. For the Boston Celtics, Reggie Lewis with 16. Xavier McDaniel with 14 points. And off the bench, Gamble and McHale, also both in double figures. So that's a look at the scoring and the statistics. They're celebrating already here in Boston, with or without Larry Bird. Still looks like the legendary Celtics tonight. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment.
Is your pet a pleasure or a pain? If you're hounded by a disobedient dog, if you're peeved by pampered pets, now you can control your pet with Pet Trainer, the electronic pet training tool that works like magic. Pet Trainer emits an ultrasonic sound that you can't hear, but that commands your dog's attention. Look, when doggy disobeys, just give the desired command and press the Pet Trainer button for 2 seconds. Harmless but effective, your dog will snap to attention and listen to your command the very first time you use it. Pet Trainer works to calm the barking dog.
Quiet. Good boy.
It stops pets from chewing shoes and clothing. Pet Trainer works great for cats, too. Disobedient dogs may hurt themselves. Don't let a nightmare like this happen.
No, Fritz, come back. No, Fritz, come back.
Pet Trainer trains pets to heal for their own safety. Also for your own safety. It's the humane way to deal with strays or neighbors' dogs.
The use of ultrasonic sound is extremely effective in a humane way to control undesirable behavior in your pet.
Don't discipline Doggy with cruel methods. Now enjoy a playful pet you can be proud of. A pet the whole family can enjoy.
My dog was so out of control, I brought her to dog obedience school, spent $700, and she still didn't obey. But Sandy started obeying commands the very first time we used Pet Trainer.
Now you can order Pet Trainer, the safe, effective way to train your pet for only $29.95. Guaranteed results the very first time you use it. Which pet would you rather have, this or this? Make your pet a loving, fun part of your family with Pet Trainer.
Sorry, no CODs. To order, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-253-8665. Or send just $29.95 plus $4.50 shipping and handling to Pet Trainer, Box 666-P, Verona, New Jersey 07044. For quickest delivery, use your credit card. Call now 1-800-253-8665.
If you suspect you have one of the 40 diseases covered by MDA, check it out. Call 1-800-572-1717.
This portion of Denver Nuggets basketball is brought to you in part by Schick Tracer, the only razor that flexes to trace every curve on your face, and by your neighborhood Colorado Pontiac dealers.
Both the Nuggets and the Celtics on the floor getting ready for the start of the second half. Boston Celtics lead at 73-49. Walt, as we take a look at the Boston Celtics, let me read you some of the shooting stats for these players. Xavier McDaniel, 7 of 8. Reggie Lewis, 6 of 8. Kevin Gamble, 5 of 7. Kevin McHale, 4 of 6. Rick Fox and Robert Parrish, each 2 of 3. D. Brown hit his 1 shot. Sherman Douglas, 2 of 3, not known for his shooting touch. And then Joe Klein at the bottom of the list, a mere 50% from the floor, 1 of 2. Now, you have the Celtics. You know, you throw out all these travel theories. They played last night. They took a charter after the game, got back to Boston, 2 a.m. No shoot around today. Tired club, emotional win on the road, looking so good. I guess you can forget about all of that. That's not don't put that in the wash in the NBA. Those are excuses. But all smiles for the Boston Celtics. D. Brown got into quick foul trouble, but didn't seem to matter as the bench really lifting the Celtics. Last night on the road, shot around 60%, and they're doing even better on this evening as Chris Ford trying to pull this team together. They lost 6 in a row earlier in the season. That's the longest losing streak since Larry Bird came here. The year before Bird was here and the Celtics won only 29 games. That year, 6 in a row. They did that, I think, on several occasions. But the big boost for this team was they were 2-8. They played the Washington Bullets and all of a sudden exploded for 150 points. And that got them going. Since that time, they have won 6 of their last 8. And what happened early, Chris Ford was finding out everybody wanted to beat Larry Bird. 5 different guys trying to beat Larry Bird. And in the beginning, Robert Parrish, who didn't play very much during preseason because of his age, they were giving him some rest. Kevin McHale, because of the ankles, sat out. So it took them a while to finally get back into things. And the team was very inconsistent. 2 weeks ago, Chris Ford inserted D. Brown and Rick Fox into the starting lineup. The players got into a rotation. They kind of got comfortable with one another. Xavier McDaniel was a new player. And now things are starting to happen that you have to consider the Boston Celtics before this thing is over will get themselves in the race. You take a look at the standings. Robert Parrish, the 39-year-old, thinks that he could lead this Boston Celtic team into contention. They're only 3.5 games from the top. They are 2 games under the 500 mark. Look to go just 1 game away from 500 with Seattle coming in here over the weekend. So Boston certainly, even with a bad start, in striking position.
Well, they've had a pretty good season, I think. Big adjustment with losing Larry Bird. But I know as you get older with Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish, it takes you a little bit longer to get in the type of playing shape that you're accustomed to. When you're younger, it's much easier. And they had to wait for D. Brown to get healthy and Rick Fox to get some energy in there and continue that fast break that they have.
That looked like a long walk back to the bench for Dan Issel. What do you think he said to his team at halftime? You know, in Utah, he may have understood what was happening. The team came off an emotional victory against Golden State. Quick turnaround the next night. The young team just unable to respond very quickly. But I think this is a different story. Tonight, he expects them to come out. He had 3 days rest. He expects them to play hard. He may have come in here thinking that this is one of the games on the trip that this team could steal.
Right. I'm sure he felt that way, and I'm sure he expressed that to the guys before the game. At halftime, I'm sure he was very upset with them for letting the team that they did get in late, and they had a tough game last night.
I'm sorry.
Our guys, I think, can give a better effort to keep it close, and I think they will use that excuse, well, we played last night.
Nuggets are off tomorrow. They'll be in Atlanta on Friday, then Charlotte on Saturday, and they'll be seeing a new player in the Charlotte uniform. The Charlotte Hornets just completed a trade with the San Antonio Spurs. J.R. Reed is now the newest San Antonio Spur, and Sidney Green has gone to Charlotte along with a first and second round draft pick. So the Charlotte Hornets, who I think were trying to shop J.R. Reed, would just be looking for first round. I think Sidney Green just came along. That was mandatory on San Antonio's part. So we're into the second half. Robert Parrish is called for the foul. That is his third. 73-49. The Denver Nuggets have a mountain to climb here in the second half. 24 points behind. Todd Lichty got off to the quick start, but we didn't see him again after his 6 points in the early stages of the first quarter. Mutombo double team, tough shot, almost got it, and Parrish now for the Boston Celtics. Well, maybe the Nuggets' tactic here is to lull the Boston Celtics to sleep, create those false illusions that this game is over, and have them relax. You've seen that many times happen.
I've seen it in my career lots of times where a team relaxes after a big lead at halftime.
Well, a relaxed Robert Parrish puts one in. 75-49 in favor of the Celtics. 1 minute into the second half. LaFonso Ellis watched by Xavier McDaniel. Lichty, in it goes to Mutombo. And Dikembe Mutombo, I don't even think he saw the hoop when he let that one go.
Well, that was a difficult shot, but Dikembe made that one. I think Robert Parrish is trying not to let Dikembe turn to the middle.
Rick Fox off the pick from Parrish, and the foul. The Nuggets looking around wondering who the foul was on. Maybe Chris Jackson.
Well, here Rick Fox uses the pick that Robert Parrish sets for him, and he gets to that middle, and Reggie reached in. I think it was the foul on Reggie.
It was.
Okay.
From behind was Jackson, but Reggie Williams gets his third personal foul. 3-point play for Rick Fox, and he now has 9 points. Celtics have won 5, lost 3 on their home floor. Ellis. Who's the last Nugget with the name Ellis before LaFonso? We'll throw in some trivia questions along the way here in the second half.
Okay.
Not only for you all, anybody listening in can play. McDaniel. And what a hot hand for Xavier McDaniel. 16 points. And he is at 8 of 9 from the field. Les Ellis to play in the Nugget uniform. As Chris Jackson makes the move. Swish. Bo Ellis. You got it. Out of Marquette. Bo Ellis. That was another century. D. Brown from the outside. 82-55. The Celtics. Reggie, and he's got it, and he is fouled. So Williams into double figures. Rick Fox gets his second personal foul.
Well, what Reggie does here is uses his quickness, takes the ball into the middle, gets up nice on his jump shot, and Rick Fox has a hand on his waist, and the referee caught that.
Nuggets come into this game having won 6 of their last 9. And I may point out here, Walt, which could be a prophetic statement, last 3 wins for the Nuggets all have come from behind. So maybe they have the Celtics right where they want them.
Right where they want them.
9.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Lewis in traffic and finds a way to score. 16 points now for the 6-year veteran out of Northeastern, a school here in the Boston area. He was a 22nd pick in the 1st round. Mutombo now opening up the offense. 10 points for Dikembe Mutombo. Realize the Celtics shot 73% in the 1st half, and that percentage is going up here in the 2nd because they have hit all 5 shots in this 2nd half. I would think at this time Chris Ford might be able to take a seat on the bench.
I don't think he's going to relax yet.
McDaniel with 3 Nuggets scrapping, and Lichty strips him. Lichty with the steal and the assist. LaFonso Ellis shakes the rim. Lewis pulls the trigger. Automatic for Reggie Lewis. 18 points now for Reggie, who struggled early in this season and now has his touch back. Has his favorite spots on the floor. I know Walter Davis could tell you about that. And a foul, number 4 on Robert Parrish. Walter, what were your favorite spots on the floor?
As a forward, my favorite spot was in the corner. I practiced that shot growing up all the time. And right at the, probably to the right and the left side of the top of the key. I like those positions. Those are forward shots that you get.
Those shots became your favorites because you knew that's where the shots were going to become and that's what you practiced, or you just had that intangible feeling when you were in those positions that those shots went in?
Well, I got a lot of good advice from a lot of guys that play with my older brothers, and they all, a couple of them play professional ball, and they take me down and set me down and say, you got to hit the wide open 12-foot shot in the corner on top of the key. So I had good advice growing up.
You haven't been talking to Reggie Lewis lately?
I haven't talked to him.
Things.
Not at all.
Looks a little like that Walter Davis shot. Parrish goes out with the 4 fouls, so the Nuggets get Parrish in foul trouble. It's a question of what that really will mean. 8:15 left in the 3rd quarter, so Parrish goes to the bench early. Maneuvering is Rick Fox. Ripped down by Williams, and the Nuggets now off and running. Williams trying to control the dribble. Jackson is open. So is Todd Lichty just for the moment. The hard drive by Lichty and the fadeaway, and he rattles the rim.
That was a great move by Todd. He got himself under control, took it hard to the middle. If someone that came to pick him up, I'm sure he would have passed that, but no one did. He got a good shot off.
Chris Jackson picks up D. Brown. Haven't seen much of Robert Pack. He got 3 personal fouls in 1:24. Todd Lichty almost taking out Chris Ford. That'll finally get him to sit down. If he wasn't standing there, he would have been in the way.
Well, Todd knows he has a tough job. In the beginning, Reggie Lewis got off to a good start. He's just being a little bit more physical now, which you have to do.
Jackson on the run for the Nuggets. Todd Lichty calling for the ball on the other side. Now Jackson picked up by Reggie Lewis. So he finds the right man. Lichty takes D. Brown inside. So on the switch, Chris Jackson with a nice assist to Lichty. The fake by Reggie Lewis. And Reggie Lewis is on fire. 20 points for the Celtics leading scorer. Oh, what a beauty by the Nuggets. Out of nowhere came Dikembe Mutombo. And right on the money was Chris Jackson. Pretty play. The Nuggets may be trailing by 19 points, but come up with the prettiest play of the game. Great grab by Mutombo. And it's a timeout in Boston.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
You
can go all out. You don't have to smell like it. If you used an Old Spice. And that's not some promise, because you got proof.
Ice him.
The Old Spice fights wetness, kills bacteria, so it works. Man, does it work. The proof? She's all the proof I need.
Old Spice Antiperspirant for great odor protection. Demand proof, not promises.
Pioneer fans, this season marks the beginning of a new hockey tradition, the Denver Cup. Join us December 29th and 30th as Denver hosts 3 of the elite names in intercollegiate athletics. Air Force, Army, and Notre Dame will try to wrestle the cup away from the Pioneers in one of the most exciting college hockey events. Don't miss the inaugural Denver Cup tournament on December 29th and 30th. Catch all the action at the DU Arena. For ticket information, call 871-2336.
BSN brings you the best of Big 8 college basketball all season long. Next up, Iowa State and Missouri right here on the Prime Sports Network. Well, we're talking about the Boston's hot shooting, 7 of 11 from the field here in the third quarter. They are being bested by the Nuggets. Nuggets started well in the first quarter, and they start even better here in the third quarter. Nuggets are now on a 14-6 run, trying to chip away. They trailed by as many as 27 in the beginning of this third period. So Boston goes to the bread and butter. Reggie Lewis, he really burned the Nuggets here last year, hitting 15 of 19 for 31, and he's on his way again. 10 of 12 from the field, 22 points for Reggie Lewis. Reggie Williams thought he was backcourt, so Lewis busts out, stripped by Williams, and back we go the other way. Down the floor is Ellis, but D. Brown. Not a bad foul by D. Brown there. He just eliminated an easy 2 points for the Nuggets, but it's the third foul on D. Brown. And if the Nuggets could keep this up, you sense a little bit of a shift here in the ebb and flow of this ball game, and so does Dan Issel. Parrish on the bench with 4 personal fouls. D. Brown now has 3. The only problem, Nuggets just can't shut off Reggie Lewis. Every time the Celtics need a bucket, they put the ball in his hand. 6:20 left in the third. Jackson now goes to work on D. Brown. Lichty knifes his way through. Gift wraps to LaFonso Ellis. Swish. 13 now for Ellis. Nuggets again get to within 19 points. And plenty of time left in this one. Kevin Gamble had a great first half is back in. He had 10 quick points in 14 minutes. His shot was working. D. Brown has nothing. The push by LaFonso. Ellis, 3rd personal foul. So LaFonso Ellis having his hands full with Xavier McDaniel. McDaniel now takes Ellis outside. D. Brown is open. Ripped down by Ellis, and the Nuggets roughing it up. Jackson cross court to Williams. He fires and comes up short and moves right in. So Reggie Williams sets it up for himself. And the Nuggets now, this is the closest they have been in some time. 14 points for Reggie Williams. And the Nuggets feel a little spark here in the third quarter. Lichty right up on Lewis. 10 on the shot clock for Boston. Klein gives it back to the Nuggets. Zigging and zagging is Chris Jackson. He squares up but is off the mark. Ellis, no. That's a big basket for the Nuggets. Could have cut it down to 15 and keep the momentum going. 4:50 remaining. Lichty gets a piece of that one, and Jackson gets it all. The Nuggets racing out. Jackson turns Klein around, and a beauty as Chris Jackson goes upstairs, and the Nuggets are back in the hunt. 90-75. Denver trailed by 27 in this quarter. 4.5 minutes to go. And now Chris Ford has a reason to stand up. Gamble tied up by Williams, who has the 3 fouls. And here's the Nuggets again on the run. Chris Jackson from behind whips it inside to Reggie Williams. Stripped and stolen by the Celtics. You knew there was a Celtic timeout if the Nuggets scored that bucket. That could be a big turnover. Lewis steps inside. No. Nuggets bust out 4-on-2. Reggie Williams. And the foul on Gamble. And right now, the Nuggets have turned the Boston Celtics inside out. A standing ovation from Dan Issel. He knows that he is back in this ball game with 16 minutes and 4 seconds still to go. The Celtics 27-point lead whittled down to 15.
Shaving would be simple, and any razor would do if your face were square. But your face has curves. Presenting the revolutionary Schick Tracer, the only razor with twin blades that flex. Compared to other razors, Schick Tracer puts more of the blade edge against your skin. So, for real faces, like yours, Schick Tracer, we're changing the face of shaving.
The best in college hockey is here. From the face-off to the finals.
Here's the slot. Here's a shot by Miller. Score! Lake Superior wins.
Catch all the spills. All the thrill.
Jackson is it. He scores! Here's Pellerin. Pellerin scores! Down the right wing, Bill Guerin on a breakaway. He scores!
And the bone-blistering chills. College hockey erupts all season long on PSN.
David Robinson.
Take the time.
Take a number. Take a hike.
Take it deep.
Take a breather. Take a shot.
Take it all.
Take a message.
Take the time.
Now.
The Nuggets putting the squeeze on the Celtics here in the third quarter. Boston with the ball. They had 4 turnovers all first half. They have had 4 very quickly here in the third quarter. And Chris Jackson moving the ball up quickly. And right there he goes coast to coast. He has such great fingertip control around the basket. They're on the fly, off balance, having to get it over the opposing center, and kisses it softly off the glass. Reggie Williams, meanwhile, is at the foul line. Reggie also stirring things up. Length of the court dashes for Reggie Williams. And he now has 15 points. The Nuggets were trailing 82-55 early in this third quarter. And over the course of the last 6 minutes, have outscored the Celtics 21-8. So the Nuggets now move to within 14. And have gotten themselves into the ball game. They have worked up a sweat. Kevin Gamble, stutter step, sets up McDaniel. Continues the hot shooting. He's getting open shots, and he's making them. 9 of 11 from the field. 18 points for Xavier McDaniel. 3.5 to go in the third quarter. Al Albert along with Walt Davis courtside at Boston Garden. Williams fires the pass inside to Ellis. And the foul is on Xavier McDaniel. Is always the first to turn around, say, who, me? The Mr. Innocent Xavier McDaniel.
Well, Alfonso has a pretty good post-up move. Reggie gave him a great pass, and I think McDaniel just got a little too physical.
He didn't think so. Because he gets away with a lot of stuff.
He sure does.
Alfonso Ellis. Over the weekend, he had 20 points against Golden State, 14 against Utah. That was the Nuggets' leading scorer against the Jazz. Gary Plummer's in, replacing Dikembe Mutombo. So once again, the horse inserting Plummer and Ellis up front with Parrish out. They'll be going up against McDaniel and Joe Klein. 14 points now for Ellis. The strip by Lichty, and he saves. Jackson stays with it. And now McDaniel back the other way. It's a 4-on-3 in traffic, rejected, and a goaltender's called. So give that basket to Xavier McDaniel. And yes, indeed, it was coming down, but you could see how high into the clouds goes LaFonso Ellis. 3 minutes on the nose left in this third quarter. The Celtics now build the lead back up to 17, down to 15. LaFonso says, take that. I want those 2 points back, and he got it in convincing fashion. 94-79.
Another excellent pass by Todd Lichty, too, to get that stuff.
Lichty up on Lewis. McDaniel double team. That leaves Gamble open again for 3. And the first one he's missed tonight in 3 attempts. Denver stalking again. They can get it down to 13 points. All the way, Chris Jackson, a dazzling move. 17 now for Jackson. And they're getting nervous here in Boston. No travel on that play. Lewis, oh my. He hits him from anywhere. 24 points for Lewis, 10 in the third quarter. He has been the savior for Boston. Jackson draws the foul, just too quick for Sherman Douglas. Chris Jackson putting on a show, doing it scoring. He's also made some fantastic assists. LaFonso Ellis also being noticed by the Boston crowd. Chris Jackson missing one of his foul shots earlier. Still leading the NBA in foul shooting. He right now has made 44 out of 47 for the season. Jackson with 18 points to go along with 9 assists. He's got Mark Price breathing down his neck.
Well, Chris has always been an excellent foul shooter. It's just he never had the amount of attempts to be in the running. But with all the playing time now, he is.
Putting together one of his best complete ball games as the point guard. Looking for a double-double with points and assists. 1 assist away. 7 seconds to shoot for the Celtics. The force, and now Denver could whittle even more. Williams saw Mark make it, but couldn't get the pass out there. And then Macon comes back to foul. Big turnaround right there. Could be a 4-point play. Nuggets trying to get it down to 11. Instead now they could be trailing by 15. Fast break opportunity. Reggie Williams in the middle could not connect on the pass. Oh, it won't count. An offensive foul is called, so the Nuggets get it back. Sherman Douglas has his second personal foul. 1 minute 37 left. Boston now with 6 turnovers in the third quarter, and Chris Jackson takes it across the face. I think Xavier McDaniel will claim he didn't foul him here. McDaniel, very physical player, bordering on the dirty line, and there he is wiping out Chris Jackson. Of course, you all remember Xavier McDaniel getting into it with Todd Lichty, the game in Denver, resulting in a fight, and McDaniel using his nails to scrape along the neck of Lichty, leaving Todd with a scar. McDaniel should be on the Detroit Pistons. Tries to intimidate on the floor. Right now, the Nuggets intimidating the Celtics. 21 points for Jackson. He had 11 at halftime. He's added 10 here, and Robert Wordan in the lineup, rejecting that, but a foul. Underneath, it's called on Chris Jackson. Denver just 11 points behind. They have made up 16 points in this third quarter. 2 shots for Douglas, who has made 1 of 3 tonight, a 44% shooter, but he's right on target on that shot. Robert Pack is back in, gives Chris Jackson a rest. A great third quarter for Jackson, and that blast from McDaniel has left Chris Jackson a little woozy. Could make an argument for a flagrant foul on that. Now Robert Pack has to pick up the pace. Plummer rejected by McHale. 1 minute to go. Nuggets with all this work can't lose it in the last minute. Oh, wide open. Reggie Lewis. 26 points for Lewis. And the Nuggets now behind by 14. 45 seconds left. Plummer now digs in against McDaniel, and the Nuggets get McDaniel his 4th personal foul. And let McDaniel deal with the physical Gary Plummer.
Well, Mark makes a good pass. Gary gets good position, and he has good, excellent with his back to the basket moves. And he's a little bit bigger than Xavier McDaniel.
Funny, Xavier not as physical with the Gary Plummer as he is with Chris Jackson coming down the lane.
Well, I think X-Man knows who to pick on.
36 seconds left in this third quarter. First half of the second half. Gordon gets in the way. Another turnover for the Celtics, and here is Reggie Williams, and he blows by Reggie Lewis. 17 now for Reggie Williams. He had 9 at halftime, and the Nuggets slice it down to 10. Boston gets the last shot. McHale against the rookie. Lincoln with the steal. Gordon tries to dribble through. Shoot the ball, but not in time. But the Nuggets will take it. They don't allow the Celtics to strike last, and you could see some smiles breaking out and some unusual looks, as it was an unusual third quarter. The Nuggets trailed by 24 going in and only 10 going out.
I'm a real wild one, wild one.
When it comes to clean, fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Up, down, Bart.
Bud Light delivers.
I'm a wild one.
You are watching the NBA on Prime Sports Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
The fascination always existed. The human body, without doubt, is the greatest of inventions. Flawless in design, capable of astonishing feats. Amazingly, the harder the body is worked, the stronger, more beautiful it becomes. To unlock your body's potential, we proudly offer Soloflex. 32 old-fashioned iron-pumping exercises, each correct in form and balance, all on a machine that fits in the corner of your home. Soloflex, simple and efficient, like the body itself, which may explain why it looks less like a machine and more like a work of art. For a free brochure, call anytime.
Believe it or not, the Denver Nuggets are back in business. Walt, I told you before, they had the Celtics right where they wanted them. Nuggets trailed 82-55 in the third quarter, but a blaze of glory in the third. They outscore the Celtics 40-26. The Nuggets pounding the ball inside. They hit 16 of their 22 shots, giving the Celtics a little bit of their medicine. There's the line score so far through 3 quarters. And the Nuggets banging inside, 24 points coming in the paint. The Celtics only got 6 points inside in that third quarter. And now the Celtics come out, quickly work it into Kevin McHale. You see a little bit more of the intensity in the Celtics on that sequence.
Well, I think that's what got them back in the game. They did pick it up. Todd Lickey was diving for loose balls, got his hand on a couple. Reggie Williams helping out on defense, and that carries over.
Nuggets start the third quarter with Pack and Make into the backcourt, Mutombo, Plummer, and Liberty up front. It's Douglas and Lewis in the backcourt for the Celtics. Parrish, McHale, and Gamble. And Plummer really playing body to body with Kevin McHale. Plummer has some fouls to give. That's only his second personal, and he's getting physical. He's letting McHale know he's there.
Well, Kevin McHale has always been great stepping through the double team, and he's a master at it, and he waits for it. Robert Pack's a little too small and got the foul that time. Kevin did.
First shot from McHale. McHale having problems with the ankles. He was going to call it quits this year. He has 1 year left on the contract. decided to play. And earlier, Chris Ford was bringing him along very slowly, but McHale says he's feeling fine now. He has to make Chris Ford believe it. He wants to get more playing time. Celtics strike first with a couple of points. Plummer backing in to McHale, using the body for the turnaround, and there's Mutombo with the follow. 15 points now for Dikembe Mutombo. Go along with 7 rebounds. Pack tries for the steal. Nuggets looking for their second win in 8 games on the road. Making a game of this. Parrish, the floater. 8 points for Robert Parrish. Now Mutombo looked to have beaten Parrish back, but Robert Pack didn't pick it up. Mark Macon, not what the Nuggets need. That's what got him in trouble in the first half when the Celtics started to blow it out. Gamble, no foul. Macon has attempted 5 shots here tonight, looking for his first basket. Right now Macon is in there to try to lasso Reggie Lewis. Robert Pack looking to get by Douglas, and he draws the foul. That is number 3 on Sherman Douglas. And amidst all the boos, there's one person who applauds the referee call. Sherman Douglas moving all the way, never had position. So Douglas goes out, D. Brown goes in. And now you're talking about 2 of the quick. No, Sherman Douglas stays in there. So it's Douglas and D. Brown on the floor. Robert Pack and the dish to Plummer. Plummer again goes up hard. Mutombo can't hold on. But it's off of a Celtic and out of bounds. Gary Plummer digging hard inside, but putting it a little bit too much on the ball. Nuggets get the full 24 seconds. Macon guarded by the smaller D. Brown. Liberty makes the move on Gamble, makes the fake, forces. Douglas cross court. Gamble slides in. Right now, Dan Issel with Macon and Liberty on the floor. 2 guys who really could give you energy, but 2 guys who still need the discipline on the offensive end. Plummer, 8 points for Gary Plummer, the former Boston University star, returning to the scene. 9.5 left in this 4th quarter. The Nuggets making a game of it after falling down by 27 points. McHale off balance. Ripped down by Mutombo. Mutombo in double figures on the boards with 10. Liberty out of control, and the Celtics come back the other way. The foul is on Marcus Liberty, trying to get back. And changes will be made. And I have a feeling you'll be seeing Liberty and Macon go to the bench. Jackson comes in, and Kevin Brooks will be coming in.
Well, I think the thing with Marcus and Mark, we talked about it a lot of times, how you have to let the game come to you. When you're out there in basketball on the floor playing, a lot of times you have to be thinking, what shot, what's my bread and butter shot? And I would always try to get that shot.
Question of why this is a 2-shot foul. Is Gamble in the act of shooting? Looked like Liberty got his arm before he was going up, but he gets the 2 shots. 16 points now for Kevin Gamble. Lewis is 26, McDaniel 22, Gamble with 16, or check that, 14 points.
That was a great play that time. They stayed aggressive against that trap. Got an easy layup. Boston's not trying to steal a ball on this trap. They just want to make the Nuggets do something different.
Nuggets get their hand on the ball again. Brooks up ahead to Robert Pack, and Plummer doesn't get a chance to get close to the hoop, but the Nuggets running. The Nuggets are feeling more and more confident, and that's the 4th foul on D. Brown.
Well, this time they had a good lead pass by Kevin Brooks. 2 big guys out there running. You got to reward those guys and make them run, because that helps you out to get an easy layup later in the game, hopefully.
And Gary Plummer giving the Nuggets a lift off the bench. Still 8:39 left in this fourth quarter, and the Nuggets could be working once again on a dramatic turnaround. The last 3 games they have won, they have come from behind. And right now they get it back to within 10. And this would be the most dramatic of them all. On the road, the legendary Boston Garden falling down by 27. Campbell leaning over his Plummer, gets away with a foul there. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now Plummer guarding McHale, who loops inside and loops it up and in. 14 for Kevin McHale. Also has that radar once he gets into his position in low. Speaking of radar, Kevin Brooks, baseline to Mutombo. Parrish doesn't give him an inch. Jackson off the glass, tumbles and scores. 23 for Chris Jackson. D. Brown. Mutombo the inside track. And now Mutombo ahead to Pack. Cross court it goes to Mutombo. And Mutombo gets the break. The foul is on McHale, and that's going to bring the roof down here at the Boston Garden.
Well, I think that was a good play. He gets it right back to Mutombo, but Dikembe makes a good move. He tries to avoid this contact, and that's enabled him to get that foul that time. I think that was the right call.
McHale turning if he held his ground, but when you have Dikembe Mutombo at 7'2" and 245 steamrolling down the lane, very hard to hold your ground. The crowd now into it. Mutombo takes a little extra time. Swish. The crowd becomes silent. Todd Lichty is in. Robert Pack goes out. Robert unable to get it going on this particular evening. The Nuggets now slice it inside double figures, down to 9. Dikembe hoping somebody is listening upstairs.
Yes.
And that somebody was. 17 points now for Mutombo. And now the Celtics a little bit on the heels. What a comeback by the Nuggets. 109-101. And a lot of time to go. 7:36. Overplaying is Lichty. Doesn't want to give Lewis any room. Lewis so far has not scored in the fourth quarter. He had 26 in the first 3. Last night he had 27 in the first 3 periods against Orlando and added only 2 more. He gets his shot. There's his 2 in the fourth quarter tonight. 111-101 Celtics. Mutombo works on Parrish. Remember, Parrish has the 4 fouls. Jackson has the hot hand. Swish. Chris Jackson on fire. Goes downtown. And he now has 26 points. He hits his 14th three-pointer of the year in 39 attempts. And the Nuggets now within 7. Parrish. And points for Robert Parrish. And the crowd really getting into the Parrish-Mutombo matchup. 113-104. Celtics holding on to the lead. The Nuggets surging back. Jackson. He sets. He flips the wrist. Too much time. I thought once you get over the rim wall, the balls go in.
I'm surprised that one didn't go in that time.
6.5 on the clock. Parrish now tangles up with LaFonso Ellis. And it's foul number 4 on the Nugget rookie. And a timeout taken. And this has really developed into some ball game. 6:26 is the score, is the time remaining. There's the score.
Shaving would be simple, and any razor would do, if your face were square. But your face has curves. Presenting the revolutionary Schick Tracer, the only razor with twin blades that flex. Compared to other razors, Schick Tracer puts more of the blade edge against your skin. So, for real faces, like yours, Schick Tracer, we're changing the face of shaving.
You know how Jack in the Box makes the ultimate cheeseburger? The ultimate cheeseburger? Well, instead of adding pickles,
they add cheese. Instead of adding lettuce, they add another kind of cheese. And to top it all off, they add another kind of cheese. It all adds up.
It sure does, because now get the best of Jack in the Box at our best price ever. This week, the ultimate cheeseburger is only $1.99.
I have nothing to add.
Now comes out to Constantin, winds up, drills, he scores! Zook with a drive, scores!
Lake Superior and Michigan State, Saturday night at 9:30 on PSN. Get ready to roll with non-stop dirt does and air-catching 360 excitement with an attitude. It's the 92 BMX Grand Nationals.
Saturday on PSN, an affiliate of Prime Network.
Helmets mandatory, armored suits optional.
Los Angeles Lakers have Jack Nicholson, and the Denver Nuggets have golfing sensation John Daly, who, of course, lives in the Castle Pines area. You see him all the time at Nuggets home games, and now he is on the road with the Nuggets and enjoying this one. Golf's power hitter, and watching the Nuggets with a great comeback bid here in the second half against the Celtics. 6:20 on the clock in the fourth quarter. Celtics with the 9-point lead. The rejection by Mutombo, scrapping for the ball. Finger roll, McHale. Stay here. The call goes against the Nuggets. Nolan Fine pointing the finger at Dikembe Mutombo. That's only his second foul in the game.
Well, Reggie Lewis, they're going to go to him. He has either side to go to. 2 picks on one side and a single. And he just uses the side he likes to go to against Robert Parrish. Not much help on that side. McHale picks up the loose ball.
Reggie Lewis hits the first foul shot. He has now made 35 in a row. Not in this game, but over the course of several games. And he is now going for his 30th point. 31 last year against the Nuggets on this floor. 30 tonight. Last year, though, the Celtics beat the Nuggets by 38. The pocket of Jackson is picked. But blowing the reverse is Kevin Gamble, and the Nuggets storm back. Lichty, one bounce cross court to Williams. Parrish is at the other side of the hoop to get it. 5:50 and the clock ticking down, and D. Brown now taking his time. Takes out Jackson. 10 on the shot clock. McHale in his position, rocking and rolling. The double team on Parrish. Mutombo worked the ball to Lichty. Mutombo wheels in on McHale, and he bombs it down. Dikembe Mutombo, a vicious slam. It's a 9-point game once again. Correction, we have Reggie Lewis for 32 points. Working on 34. Lichty got him hung up. Wheeling out for the Nuggets is Chris Jackson. Jackson had the easy open pass to Lichty in the corner, instead trying to make it difficult. Parrish is stripped, and Parrish is it a foul call? No, just out of bounds off the Nuggets. Celtics now hitting when they have to. They've hit their last 5 baskets, but the Nuggets still within 9. Mutombo will make the highlight reels with that one. Near strip again by the Nuggets. But now the time reflects 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Nuggets once down by 27. This is as close as they've been able to get it on several occasions. Lewis stripped by Lichty, and it's off of Lewis. And Todd Lichty doing a job on Reggie Lewis in the fourth quarter.
Well, Todd usually does a pretty good job. The thing that's hurting him right now is Reggie Lewis is getting a lot of picks, and that's slowing Todd up. He's not getting that much help from his teammates, and plus Reggie Lewis is hot.
Mutombo, backdoor. Reggie Williams is hot. 19 points now for Williams. Great pass by Mutombo, and the Nuggets slice it down to 7. Crowd trying to encourage the hometown Celtics. Well, maybe the game last night, the trip is catching up to him now. The steal by Williams. Reggie Williams is going, gone! And it's a 5-point ball game. Kevin Gamble did everything he could to try to not allow Reggie Williams to break away, but the referee did not make the call, and Williams stayed with it, and Reggie Williams brings the Nuggets to within 5.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Bush beer, an easy drinking Bush Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Bush beer is a drinking Bush Light.
Denver Nuggets basketball. Mile high hoops. The sky is the limit. The Nuggets are running and gunning again. Pushing to be the best in the West and put the rest of the NBA to the test.
Former Georgetown centers collide in the Garden when Dikembe Mutombo squares off against Patrick Ewing and the Knicks. Denver and New York, live Monday at 5:30 Mountain on PSN.
The Maglite flashlight. Brighter, tougher, made in America. Maglite, the perfect gift to brighten the holidays. Maglite.
Tune in to Ski Colorado on Prime Sports Network, where you can explore the best ski resorts in Colorado this month. A visit to Keystone. Watch Ski Colorado following the Nuggets and the Knicks Monday night right here on Prime Sports Network. And right now, the Nuggets look like they are skiing downhill, and they got everything behind them because they are storming back. 27 points down early in the third quarter, and they are turning the Boston Celtics inside out with 4:06 still to go. Chris Ford now has a reason to keep on standing. Nuggets working the break. First half, they scored 14 points off the break. Here in the second half, they have totaled 29 points. Getting it going, turning up the defense, causing turnovers. Harris, tough shot, off the mark, and it's off of Gamble. Off his foot and out of bounds. The Nuggets have Jackson and Lichty in the backcourt, Mutombo, Ellis, and Williams up front. Deep Brown now digging in to pick up a red-hot Chris Jackson, who leads the scorers with 26. And now on fire is Reggie Williams, who has 23. And the Nuggets creep to it in 3 points. A very nervous Boston Garden. 3.5 to go in the fourth quarter. McDaniel back on the floor. D. Brown picked up by Chris Jackson. McDaniel watched by Ellis. 6 on the shot clock. McDaniel elbows Williams, and it's a foul. And Williams, that was a payback. McDaniel once again going to work with the elbow into the face of Reggie Williams. I think Williams was just so upset. And slap back at McDaniel, just checking to see if the jaw is in order. Watch McDaniel. And that was after he elbowed Williams.
I think he elbowed him as he was getting positioned down there low.
Points now for Xavier McDaniel. The Nuggets 9 of 16 from the floor in the quarter. The Celtics 5 of 17. 29% shooting by Boston. They shot 73% in the first half. Williams sets, now double team. Looking for Jackson. Plenty of time on the shot clock. 12 seconds. Ellis checks that out. Jackson and Williams, the two hot men, and Williams wants it. He stops, turns, jumper, off the mark. Inside 3 minutes left. 5-point lead for Boston. Lewis, Lichty glued to him. What a shot by Reggie Lewis. He had Todd Lichty right on the ball. 34 points now for Reggie Lewis. He wants the ball down the stretch, and he comes through. And a sigh of relief from the Boston faithful and the team. A 20-second timeout as the Celtics now open up a 7-point lead. 2:34 left in the fourth quarter. Taking a look at the high scorers, Reggie Lewis now with 34. Xavier McDaniel has 24 points. Kevin Gamble off the bench with 16. Kevin McHale with 14. So the Kevins have supplied 30 points off the bench if you're scoring. For the Nuggets, Chris Jackson with 26. Reggie Williams has 23. LaFonso Ellis 16. Dikembe Mutombo has 19 points. Gary Plummer off the bench with 12. Todd Lichty has 10. So 6 Nuggets in double figures here tonight. 119-112. The Boston Celtics trying to withstand the comeback bid from the Denver Nuggets. Be sure to join Walt and me on Monday night when we'll be right back here on Prime Sports Network to close out this 4-game Eastern swing. The Nuggets against the New York Knicks. The Knicks, who right now sit on top of the Atlantic Division, and head-to-head, Dikembe Mutombo and Patrick Ewing, the two very close friends, two former Georgetown Hoyas, and it's always a treat for the two of them when they bang heads for real. That's what they'll be doing Monday night, and you'll see it right here on Prime Sports. The Nuggets have had such a huge mountain to climb, and sometimes you really never get to the top. They have 2.5 minutes still to go. And Walt, at halftime, when Denver was down 73-49, we talked about what the Denver Nuggets can learn as Mutombo, the numbers against Robert Parrish here tonight. Well, we learned from the Denver Nuggets that they just did not fold up the tent and made a comeback bid. Williams again off the mark. He's lost it. His last 2 shots. And Denver has to learn what they did in the second half to apply that now to the future road games, with Atlanta coming up Friday, Charlotte Saturday, and the Knicks Monday. Boston now will use the clock, but stepping out of bounds was D. Brown. The turnovers continue to mount for the Celtics in the second half. They had 4 turnovers in the first half. That is their 9th in the second, and that has also helped the Nuggets come back. Nuggets also turning it up defensively, creating some of those turnovers. 2 on the nose in the ball game. Chris Jackson looking. Mutombo trying to add some more numbers. Parrish gives him no room and rejects him. And Dan Issel goes crazy. Thought it was a foul. Lewis. D. Brown. The big shot by D. Brown. Only his 3rd field goal of the evening. And now it's a 9-point lead with a minute and a half. Denver has to look for 3. And here's D. Brown looking for the foul, and he gets it. Chris Jackson claiming an all ball.
Xavier Daniel recognized that D. Brown has a couple steps on Chris Jackson, throws an excellent pass.
I think Chris Jackson was claiming it shouldn't be a shooting foul.
Right.
I don't think he could claim he had all ball. Everything but the ball. And now the Boston Garden crowd, for those who didn't file out at halftime, down to 128. Now working their way to the exits. The Nuggets the chance to get back to the 500 mark, made the run, but right now 11 points down and a 126 to go. The miracle is needed at this point. Todd Lichty is open, flicks the wrist, swish. 12 points for Lichty. 123-114, the Celtics, who now will use the clock.
The Nuggets came out very aggressive the second half, and I'm surprised they didn't do that the first half.
Great game for Chris Jackson. 26 points to go along with 11 assists. That's a high for the Nuggets this year. He had 15 of his points in the second half. Reggie Williams with 9 points at halftime, now has 23. Kevin Gamble with a couple of foul shots. Nuggets will fall to 1-7 on the road. But in 24 minutes learned that they can turn a team like the Boston Celtics inside out. Celtics who lost 8 of their first 10 games. But you know that this team now, even without Larry Bird, has kind of found themselves, and they will be in the hunt for the Atlantic Division title. Todd Lichty, this is for 3. Got it. Downtown for Todd Lichty gives him 15 points. The Nuggets just won't go away. And right now the 8-point deficit looks insurmountable. That's the second 3-pointer of the season made by Todd Lichty in 3 attempts. Brown gets the foul, draws it out from Chris Jackson. And the Nuggets at least stop the clock, hoping that Brown misses 1 or 2 of the shots, and Denver will start looking for the threes. Still 38 seconds to go. D. Brown with 10 points. Brown, 19th pick in the first round. Celtics making some of those low first-round picks come through. Reggie Lewis with 22nd. Robert Parrish rips it away. And there's the Chiefs still in the ball game in the late stages. Lichty turns it over for a moment. Now Lewis, his instinct was to run the bullet down the floor, and he heard it from Chris Ford standing there. Another foul by the Nuggets. Nuggets will foul every time down. That's the second foul on Todd Lichty. This will be 7 of the last 9 for the Boston Celtics. Nuggets will lose for the 4th time in the last 10 games. And all in all, when the final buzzer sounds, the Nuggets have to look at this as one of the positive experiences on the road.
Well, I think also when they get in the locker room, Dan Issel is going to tell them, guys, this is a game that we could have won. We just got to get mad at the outset of the game, come out there and be aggressive, just like the second half.
The reverse by Lichty, so Todd Lichty putting some points up in a hurry. Now is 17. Reggie Lewis will dribble it out as the high man with 36 points. And the Boston Celtics now could breathe a sigh of relief. They almost saw their 27-point lead wiped out in this second half, but the mountain just too steep to climb for the Nuggets. Great comeback for the Denver Nuggets, but they fall short here in Boston and lose to the Celtics by the count of 129-119. Now, Walt, let's take a look at the play of the game. Brought to you by Schick Tracer, the only razor that flexes to trace every curve on your face. And it was Chris Jackson, one of his 11 assists, and right on the money to a charging Dikembe Mutombo. He threw it to a spot, and Mutombo was there. What a beauty. One of the nicest plays of the year, and certainly tonight's Schick Tracer play of the game. We'll be back for more from the Boston Garden in just a moment.